Hi friends, welcome to Flosstube number 25. If it's not number 25, I will figure it out and put it below. My name is Yamir. I go by AlmondMnMs on YouTube/Flosstube platform and Instagram and my website per se. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoy what you see and hear. If you are returning, hi friend, good to see you. I hope we can catch up. Thanks for catching up with me. I'm gonna try to make it quick and simple, only because I plan on filming again next week, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But this video is gonna most likely, well, it's basically gonna be again a haul situation because I've been out of control purchasing. But I think I'm off of my purchasing streak is the best word to say. I think I'm coming off of my purchasing streak, but for a bit I was purchasing a lot. So I think this is pretty much the leftovers of what has come in since the last time we spoke. I believe we spoke about 2 to 3 weeks ago. So it was pretty much time to sit down and chit chat. I have a new setup. As you can see, I have a bed now. You know, if you're new, previously my bed was black, so I would always stitch in my stitch and record in my room a lot of the times. There's an inside joke about that. I think the video says like the cat's out the bag or something like that, where I spilled the beans, so you can hear about that. But yeah, now I have a white bed, so yay, that's a plus. We built furniture within this past week, so some of our furniture is still not here. Classic COVID delays, but you know, little steps, what is it? Baby steps, little by little, we'll start getting things delivered because everything is pretty much delayed. But yeah, we started building some of the furniture, and obviously the bed was the first thing that had to get built because we pretty much didn't have a bed for a little bit of time. But yeah, so I'm gonna try to make this video pretty short. Not as short as most of us sometimes tend to see, but I did want to come on here to chit chat about an upcoming SAL. So I wanted to at least give you a week's notice if you would like to join us and be prepared. So a little bit more about that later. But yeah, I wanted to just start off pretty much on what I've been shopping for. So I've been shopping, as I mentioned before in my previous Flosstube, my StitcheCon recap. I think within the past few weeks, within the past month-ish, a little bit before StitcheCon, but definitely it was solidified during StitcheCon because it was my first visit to an LNS, which was awesome, and obviously my first of everything. Being exposed to different designers, different charts and different things, I think it really opened up my eyes and a lot of ways to explore differently. I am I try to be monogamous, but also I try to stitch on like a monochrome, just 1 to 2 colors max, maybe 3, but not a lot of color changes in the past. But I've been shifting towards a few charts, well, a lot of charts that has a lot of blends, mixtures and things like that. So obviously, because of the exposure, I've been interested in a lot of things. So I've been purchasing, obviously, to build my stash, but also I've started to understand I have the first part of this chart. I need to buy the sister or like the sibling of that chart. So I've been doing a lot of those. So I'm gonna try to keep it as organized as possible, which I don't think so because it's not gonna be organized. So the first thing that, before I even get into that, I actually this past weekend, yeah, technically, I went to a knitting shop that is fairly near to me. And it was my first time in the shop, and the shop is in Brooklyn. It's called the Brooklyn General. One sec. Sorry about that. So yeah, so at some point last week, I went to a shop that's fairly close to me. It's in Brooklyn. I'm up in the Bronx in the Parkchester area, but it is in Brooklyn. It's fairly close to me compared to everything else. And it was a great commute. Like, you can get there easy peasy. So I went there primarily because if you've been here for a bit, previously I had mentioned that I had went to a few shops within the city area, and I know that there's many other shops, but I had went to a few shops, two to be exact, within the city area, and I didn't have the best of experiences. So I always like to give people the opportunity and the benefit of the doubt and things like that. However, I won't be shopping at that place, but I have always, and I always love to go physically shopping for like yarns, floss, etc. When I can, and if there is a some type of fiber art studio area around me, I'm gonna try to stop in, which, I mean, I have to. And I ended up going to the Brooklyn General store mainly because I did know about them prior to me partnering with them, because they carry my floss there physically. So I did know about them prior to that, but I just never went over there. So I was kind of like super happy that they started carrying some of my floss, and then B, that I was able to actually put like faces to names. So I ended up going there. We spent a little bit of time, well, I spent a little bit of time there. They have Stitche nights once a week, so I ended up going on one of the Stitche nights, and I met up with a few people at the shop. Some of them, you know, like two of the young ladies there work there, and I don't want to like bring up names or anything, so I'm just gonna say young ladies, or two individuals, which they're awesome, work there. And then there were other friendly people that are friends, but also like friends of the shop. So we ended up pretty much staying there. I stitched because I really don't knit. I stitched, some of them stitched, some of them knit, some of them just sat there and chit-chatted, which was very awesome and interesting, because here in New York I don't have that community. So I was just like, hey, I want to be here, super excited. And then obviously I wanted to see the shop, and then I wanted to shop, and then hey, like they have my product there. So it was just like a win-win. It was an awesome experience if you're in the New York area, if you're in New York, or I mean, you can shop online too. Definitely don't hesitate to check them out. They're awesome there. I love them. I'm gonna go back. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do like the weekly knit nights, but I'll try to make it. But that being said, I did end up purchasing 3 things from them. One of them is a darning loom. So, is this, yes. So, I think it's Katrinkles. Yes, Katrinkles. So, it's a darning loom, right? And pretty much it is, these are used for like socks and like different things per se that are knitted. And it comes in a little box, and it has like a few things in there. What is going on? Work. I'm actually officially off for 2 weeks. This is my last week off. However, I somehow still get emails. So yeah, so this darning loom is pretty much, you use it to like repair knitted things, which I'm actually good with that. So it's hard to explain, and eventually if you want me to explain something like this, I can do that. Pretty much so hard to explain. So you pretty much take, say if this is like the messed up sock. Oh, look, it's a little sock. So say if this is like the messed up sock, like the heel or the toe, you put it over, you take this, which is kind of like a little comb, And then you take the little rubber band situation, you smoosh it together. I'm explaining it very well. And then you can take like yarn or like the thread, and then you're pretty much like weaving it back in, or like sewing it per se. I'm not explaining this very well at all, because I'm not trying to get deep into it. However, I'll show you a little picture on the little instructions. So for say this is the whole sock, the blue is kind of like the repair that was done on it. So I pretty much needed that. Not needed it, I wanted it, and I've been looking on like Etsy's and different places. However, I saw it there and I wanted to support and shop local, so therefore I did it. Another thing that I ended up shopping for, which should not be a surprise, I think at this point I'm just a scissor hog. I ended up purchasing a pair of scissors. Obviously they had to be small, but pretty much everywhere where I go, or usually if I'm like trolling Etsy or whatever, you'll find me shopping for scissors. So I ended up purchasing these scissors. I believe they had a larger size as well, but I went for the smaller size. And I really like these because they remind me of my Kelmscotts, I think they are. They're more, the thumb part is more of a larger hole, but it's pretty much this big. Look, it's so cute. I love it. And I just love the matte black. So I ended up having to get a pair of scissors. And I think honestly, personally, purchasing scissors from wherever I go, it just really reminds me of like places and stuff like that. So I definitely wanted to buy something that I'll be including, whether it's a knitting, fiber arts, or stitching. So had to get a pair of scissors because it's never too late to have a whole bunch of scissors. Sidebar, if you are hearing honking and things like that, it's probably by my window. Usually it's not like that. However, I think someone is like in the middle of the street and won't move, but we will continue. Another thing that I ended up purchasing there was a hoop and an embroidery hoop. And the reason why I purchased it was, and I think I briefly spoke about this in the previous video, was I stitch in hand. I stitch 1/1. It's not a surprise, super tiny, yada yada yada. I stitch in hand. However, when I was at StitchCon, I did see a few people like stitching with the Q-snaps, with hoops and different things like that, which obviously, yes, like I know about. I even have like a small hoop myself. However, I saw someone stitching with a really, really nice, like hefty hoop, and I was just like, I need one of those. However, I wanted to order it online, but unfortunately I did not ask the person what's the brand of the hoop, etc. So for me to order a hoop, I was pretty much like risking it unless I like literally like measured. But since I was at the Brooklyn General Store, I ended up finding an embroidery hoop like this. I think this is 5" or 3". 3". It is a Nerge hoop. Oh, don't look at me. Wait, where? Can I? Oh, there you go. It's a Nerge embroidery hoop. 16mm #1. So I ended up purchasing it, and the reason why I purchased it, look how thick that is. It's pretty thick. Like this is what I was looking for. I don't stitch a lot in a hoop. However, I feel like I'm gonna start stitching in a hoop a lot, so I wanted to actually have that. I do need to wrap the inside with some bias tape to just protect my fabric and stuff like that. So I am totally ready. I'm not a hoop stitcher, but I am willing to start it. Also, like sometimes like holding the fabric with my hand after like hours, because I'll sit there like and binge on stitching. Sometimes my hand hurts, and I'm also planning on stitching at my desk as well. So more to come on that. I also have a large project that is coming, so I think this little situation might help me because it's going to be a very large and long project, which I'm very excited about. I just have to figure out what's the best way that I can present it in the most holistic and what's the word? Mindful way, if that makes sense. I want to present it in a respectful way. If you know me, I'm all about presentation and thought process behind everything. So I'm excited to use this. And hey, like, I bought it at one of my local shops and it'll remind me. So that was like my little haul from the knit shop slash cross stitching situation. I ended up purchasing some fabrics from Stash and Load. Why? I don't even know. Like, you all have to take away my devices from me because I need to stop shopping at Stash and Load and all these different things. Yeah, like 56 count. I'm reading it this way because I don't want to, I think it has like the person's info. This is 56 count, and it just says 56 count medium brown, which I don't mind. You know, I don't mind at all. I am good with stitching on whatever. So I ended up purchasing that. I also believe I bought some fabric from Fire Poppies somewhere along the way. Yes, I did. Woo. Fabrics from Fire Poppies. I think I just purchased some fabrics from Fire Poppies. I want to say it was like 56 count again. And it's because I am on the hunt for fabric for a specific project. And yeah, the project, obviously, I'm still debating if I want to do it on 46 or 56, but also I may need multiples of the same fabric if I'm not purchasing like 2 or 3 yards, because it's gonna be a very large project. But I'm just thinking of doing it instead of like a full yard or like 2 yards of fabric. I'm thinking of maybe doing it in pieces. I'm not sure. So I'm still debating on my options. So we'll see what happens. So yeah, like, I've been hunting around for fabric, and I think once I find the perfect one, and hopefully I'm able to continue finding more of the same pieces, with which would be, I don't know, don't listen to me, skip my ramble there. I also, and I'm not gonna say the name because I don't want to call anyone out, but there was someone at StitchCon who was awesome. I've met them virtually. I was able to meet them in person, and it was so funny because they were like, "Oh, I have fabric for you," and I'm not sure if I had spoken about it in my previous video. So they were like, "Oh, I have fabric for you. I'm gonna send it to you." I ended up getting the fabric, and it's a beauty. It's called the Beach Walk. It's a linen, and I am super excited about it. So I think fabric is the name of the game for the past week, but also charts has been the name of the game. I did a mixture of charts and actually supplies. So I'm gonna just pull because nothing is organized. So as far as supplies, I ended up purchasing a LED magnifying like tweezer situation. So pretty much this is a tweezer. So it's a tweezer. It has a little light. I need to put a battery, and it also has a magnifier. So, you know, like, you can pretty much like pick stitches out with light and magnification. I wanted to get it because I love gadgets. If you don't know me, I love gadgets. So I've had something similar like this in the past when I was in the fashion industry, and I loved it. So I ended up coming across it. So I ended up getting it because sometimes you need a frog, and frog is 56/1. Yes, I will be putting on a magnifier to make sure that I am seeing everything properly, because if I made the mistake once, I don't want to make the mistake again. So this is the packaging of it. I have a new setup, so I'm trying to like figure out the whole situation about auto-focusing without breaking up this video. So maybe there. So I got it from Sassy to Stitch in North Carolina. I want to say Needle in a Haystack has this. I'm not quite sure, but I feel like they do. And then the second thing that I ended up purchasing was, I mean, I could never have too many snack nabbits. So I ended up purchasing one that's called Soulmate. And the only reason why I purchased it, even though I already have like 2 or 3 snack nabbits, is because it has 2 different sizes. So if you can, so this one is from Soulmate, and it's called Snag Repair Tool. This is all from Sassy to Stitch, but it has 2 in there. There you go. It has 2. It has a thicker one and a thinner one. So I wanted to experiment the thinner one. However, it looks like it's pretty much the same size as the Snag Nabbit single, but the thicker one is very interesting to have. So I ended up purchasing that because hello, I need my gadgets. Another thing that I purchased, and this one is primarily because of Judy from Finding Judy. We met at StitchCon in person. She's hilarious. She's so funny. So she had this tool that is used in needlepoint, and it's called a Stitcher's Best Friend. And pretty much I'm gonna take it out. So I ended up finding it because I was looking for it everywhere, but Sassy to Stitch has it. So that's why I ended up shopping from Sassy to Stitch, and I was like, of course I need to order more items. I lost something out of it. Found it. So pretty much this side is more like a bent, it's like a slight bend, and then this side is pretty much like an open fork, so you can pretty much get into these stitches, like you could play around with it. So I ended up purchasing it because I needed it in my toolbox, because why not? But it's called the Stitcher's Best Friend, and yeah, I got it from Sassy to Stitch. I ended up also purchasing, what else did I purchase from them? I got some needles, and I think I got like a threader because I wanted to just try it. Yes. So I ended up purchasing like these super tiny like micro threaders, I guess, for like needles. Ugh, my nose. Yeah, ultra fine needle threaders, because I wanted to talk about these. Because someone had asked me, and they were like, at StitchCon, like, how do you even thread your needle? Which I can thread it without a threader. However, I told them, like, with beading needles, which obviously the hole is super tinier, you can still get threaders. And I wanted to, because I don't have threaders, but I wanted to share it. I think this one is like Colonial or something. Yeah, it's called Colonial, and it's a micro threader for beading needles. So there's threaders for the beading needles too, if you didn't know. It came in a pack of 3, or maybe I ordered 3. I'm not quite sure. It's a pack of 3, so why not? So from Sassy to Stitch, I just ended up purchasing just little tools, because why not? Who doesn't want gadgets? I love gadgets. I also as you know, I recently moved, and I have been getting mail from my old place, my new place, whatever, and because we were in the middle of like moving and everything, I had previously purchased things with my previous address or before I moved, and then whatever. So I ended up purchasing from Caroline off the grid needle arts. Caroline from Off the Grid. Hi, Mama Caroline. Forgive me. So I ended up purchasing from her some Leo and Roxy floss. I'm actually opening it up right now. And this one was the pre-order for the Modern Folk Embroidery Rule of, it's either Rule of Life, I think. Let's see. Does she have it on there? Yes. Rule of Life collection, and I ended up purchasing the set of 5 for 1/2 stitching, which I know I'm gonna have a whole bunch, but I wanted to support, and I ended up purchasing these, the pack, because I have the chart, so I wanted to support, so I ended up purchasing it, and we had a whole bunch of mail set off to the side because of the move and everything, and I didn't get a chance to open it, so I keep on showing you my address. So I ended up purchasing it. We had everything set off to the side, so we've been like cleaning up and everything, and I was like, oh my god, happy mail again ×2. So I was super happy to open that up. So another thing that I've been purchasing was, there's a few things that I've been looking into as far as stitching. I've been, like I said, I've been looking for parts of, or multiples, or like parts of and things like that. So I ended up purchasing, it was a combination of Stash and Load, like different places, from Needleworks, and I ended up purchasing the summer ABCs, spring ABCs, winter ABCs, and autumn ABCs. So I ended up purchasing the 4 seasons, which I'm excited about. It's very different for me because I don't stitch these type of things, but I'm very excited to start stitching it. It's gonna be funny because it's gonna be super tiny, but I'm excited to kind of do them like bands and things like that. So I'm excited. I think they're all the same width, I hope. Yes they are, so they can all lay next to each other, so I'm super excited about that. So this was a mixture of, I don't know, but definitely a lot of Stash and Load, so I was able to kind of gather all that together. You see what I'm doing? As I said, I'm very into alphabets, typography and things like that, so I ended up getting another one. This one is a little alphabet situation too. It's from Sheepish Designs, and it's called Infatuated. So I wanted to stitch this one, and hopefully once I'm done stitching it, I can share with you all. I also think that I'm going to stitch this and then kind of share it as a pack. I don't know, we'll see. Once you finish stitching your patterns, do you throw them out, give them away, keep them? I don't know, let me know. Sidebar, I'm surprised there hasn't been that many sidebars, but sidebar, there was a lot of tomatoes in the last video, which was so funny. Thank you for commenting on tomatoes. Super exciting. So here's another set, and I think it's Little House Needleworks. Maybe I'm on a Little House Needleworks kick. So I need to also double check once I start stitching all of my stitches. I need to double check if I'm missing anything as far as if I get multiples, if I'm missing anything from the sequence. So I ended up purchasing as well some of these little charts from Little House Needleworks. That was also from Stash Unload, this one as well, and then this one as well. Hold up. I may have to investigate these. So yeah, I may have to look into these a little bit better. I purchased these off of Stash Unload, so I may have to just double check, inspect them a little bit further. But they are a part of the same, I think they're part of the same collection, so I ended up purchasing those. I also, let's see what else I got. Oh, let's see. I've been shopping a lot, you all, so it's been very interesante. So I also placed a 1, 2, 3 stitch order. And when so like I said, I am in my previous video, I want to start the some charts that I purchased from Liz Matthews, the Christmas countdown. And I wanted, initially when I was on 1, 2, 3 Stitch, I mean, I've been on a few websites looking for needlepoint silks because I've never used needlepoint silks, and I want to try them out because I want to do the whole all called for stitching. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, as far as like my sizing of my fabric going equivalent to the proportion of the threads that I'll be selecting. So I've been like looking around, and every single time I just purchase just one thread, they keep on canceling my order, or, oh, we don't have it, it's out of stock. So whatever, I found some at 1, 2, 3 Stitch, so I ended up purchasing just a black. I ended up purchasing a black just so I can try it out, and then I can figure out if I'm gonna stitch on DMC or if I'm gonna stitch on needlepoint silks. However, I think I'm going towards needlepoint silks. That being said, obviously nothing can travel on its own. Like, why would it? I ended up purchasing some charts from Blackbird's designs. Obviously, by now everyone knows the passing of one of the designers, but I wanted to, I always admired Blackbird designs, but subconsciously I was just like, you know, these people are gonna be here forever. Like, these people are gonna be here forever. Like, we're gonna meet, like, we're gonna stitch forever. Like, we never think about, well, for me, I don't know, like, sometimes we never think about like life, and you know, that there's a time for everyone, and you know, I just never think about the end. And for me, I always listen to Brenda and the Serial Starter, and they're always like, oh, stitch all the Blackbirds, stitch all the Blackbirds. And I'm like, yes, I have to buy all the Blackbirds, I have to stitch all the Blackbirds. And I always just admired from a distance, but I never purchased. So interestingly enough, when I was looking for the needlepoint silks, this was when I came back from StitchCon. I was trying to purchase, and you know, sometimes when you do it, like, you could be like, or, you know, like, cancel the whole order if you can't find one item or whatever. And that's pretty much what I kept on doing. Or some things were back ordered, and you know, coincidentally everything started coming in together. And then it was just very interesting because, you know, when you're shopping, you're just like, add cart, add to cart, add to cart, add to cart. You, like, for me, like, when sometimes I shop in the middle of the night. I'm a night owl, so those are my best and not best shopping decisions. And when I say not best, I mean they're the bomb shopping decisions, but as far as like not best economically, because I'll just buy whatever. So, you know, I would just keep on adding, but you know, obviously I have like a plan. I'm like, okay, I gotta make sure I have this one, like not rebuying things, which I have rebought things, and I just realized that I have rebought the same exact PDF chart. That's the most annoying one. Like physical charts, like, that's fine. But rebuying the same PDF chart, that sucks, but whatever. So as I was shopping, I just kept on making sure I wasn't rebuying the same Blackbirds ones, but everything was back ordered. So everything started coming in together. And then within like the past like week, as all of my things started coming in, I'm like, wow, this is actually like a Blackbird week. And I didn't mean to like really buy so many different pieces, but hold on. Okay, I'm back. Where was I? Yeah, so I, within the past week, was very interesting to see pretty much like all of like these pieces that I've been purchasing actually start coming in together, and me physically, you know, like all these different charts and stuff start coming in together, and just really reflecting on life, relationships, friendships, you know, and like all these different things. So I think within the past week, I started from not having not one Blackbird piece. I may have one somewhere, but not one Blackbird piece, to having a whole bunch. And I'm super excited about it, because I think now stitching these pieces have a bigger meaning to me, and I'll be able to reflect a lot, which was very interesting. You know, like on my last video, I don't know if I shared, there was, you know, during that week, I had experienced like 3 different deaths within my near circle. So, you know, like sometimes you sit and reflect. And I think this was also like a reminder. And I think, you know, having pieces of such a wonderful relationship between 2 friends, 2 designers, and someone who has given so much to the Stitche community, which has been admirable. You know, I think to me it's an honor. You know, it's very humbling to hold pieces that, you know, people have taken their time and have put their heart and soul to designing. So, you know, enough about my soapbox, but, you know, I ended up purchasing this one, and I'm gonna see, because they all, you know, they're like number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Some of them are labeled like that. I'm gonna see if I can stitch them in the order, and maybe do like one big piece, because obviously for me, I stitch very small, so perhaps maybe making like a bigger piece would be more impactful for me, like visually. But, you know, like just having like these are so humbling, and obviously like an honor, but it's just very like, you know, like the whole time I was like, I have to buy this. And, you know, like every single time I see a Blackbird piece, I always immediately think of Stitch all the Blackbirds, you know. So I did end up purchasing a few, and I'm super excited to start stitching on them. I ended up purchasing this one as well. It's a little book. It came in a little booklet, and I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, because obviously, you know, you've seen these. I meant to purchase this a very, very long time ago. Strawberry Fields, because I love strawberries. I also love sunflowers. Sunflowers are my thing. But I don't know, like everywhere I see, like I've been seeing a lot of sunflowers. So I don't know, I have to find like a sunflower chart. I don't know, and stitch that too. But Strawberry Fields, I felt like it was very meaningful to have for me. I also purchased some from Top Knot Stitcher, and I ended up getting a sampler, pamphlet, booklet, and then I also ended up getting another one of these cutie patooties. So I'm excited. I have a few now that I can actually stitch and reflect on. I'm slowly building my little stitchy corner everywhere in the house. Sidebar, my boyfriend and I, we were talking, and I was like, yeah, I need to get like the same exact chair for 3 different rooms. And he's like, why? I'm like, because they're gonna be my stitchy corner chairs, and I need to get the same exact lamp for every single corner. Like, I don't care. So he thinks I am being unreasonable, but I don't think I am. Well, let me know if I'm being unreasonable. But yeah, so I ended up from Abby Top Knot Stitcher, I ended up getting this cutie patootie as well. Sorry for the glare. And these. And as I've been saying, I like to stitch big pieces, but you know, for me, I also want to start filling up my walls. So I think the best way for me to do that is start doing a mixture of big and small pieces. And I think these are gonna help me achieve that goal. So I'm super excited about that. I think, I don't know, I don't think I'm done shopping as far as, did I just buy? I didn't. I don't think I'm done shopping. However, I do feel like I'm kind of dwindling down because I've been able to kind of like purchase things that have been on my wish list. Oh my God, I don't know what is going on. Once I start itching once, like I just get itchy. That happened to me last time. So although I have a lot of things on my wish list, I think I'm starting to like check things off, which I'm super excited about. Another thing that I ended up purchasing, I'm scooching this so I don't forget. I'm almost done, I promise. Another thing that I ended up purchasing was, I went to the garment district. I'm in New York. We have a garment district. I'm very familiar with that because that was my shopping years ago and still. So I'm pretty familiar with like textiles and stuff like that. So I ended up purchasing some linen, stay tuned, wink wink, some linen, and I ended up also purchasing some thread, which to me was very interesting. I'll stitch on anything as long as it's small, but I don't discriminate. I'll stitch on anything. So I ended up purchasing some Gutermann floss or threads. I can't remember. Is this cotton? Yeah, it is cotton. Did I just buy cotton and silk? Yes, I did. I am such an idiot. Not really, but I'm silly. So silly. So I ended up purchasing, I don't know, maybe I wasn't thinking. So I ended up purchasing cotton and silk. So I ended up purchasing a 3-pack. This is enough for me on a 56 cal. I want to say this is 100 yards, 110 yards. Yeah, 110 yards of cotton. Okay, I think I remember why I did that. I purchased this. Oh my God, I'm so okay. 110 yards of cotton, and then I also purchased the same amount of it in silk, but in a very wine color. Mama Caroline look. So these are pretty thin. I can stitch with these, so I'm super excited. Low key, I was actually planning on doing these together, but we'll see. We can mix fibers. Why not? Like, why not? So I ended up purchasing these. an interesting thing, oh my god, an interesting thing that I found were they also have some shiny thread. So I ended up purchasing 2 rolls of these. It's kind of like diamond or krynic. It's pretty much the same, but I feel like it's thinner. So I'm excited to test this out and see. I mean, if you want to try it out and shop for it, go right ahead. But if it doesn't work out, don't blame me because I haven't tried it. So I want to try it before I recommend everyone to like go running and get in it. So I want to try it first. So I may do like a little mini like trying. I don't think I have krynic. I don't have krynic. So I can't even try it. I may have to buy a roll of krynic. So I can't even like do like a little like cutie like, hey, like here we go, metallics. Or you know what? I feel like Yanni did a video about different fibers lately, but I'm not sure. I feel like she did. I remember shiny. That's all I remember. I've been trying to catch up on Flosstube. I feel like she did something like that, but I may do like a 10-minute situation just so you can hear my opinion. I also purchased, and this is primarily because when I went to StitcheCon, I received one as a needle minder as a gift. So I ended up purchasing a tiny I don't know what they're called. Like, it's kind of like a geode situation. No, it's not a geode. A geode is a stone, but it's kind of like a little flat situation with Jingy. I'm starting to like wean out. So I ended up purchasing a few of these to make into like little needle minders, but they also came in itty bitty weedies. Look at this one. Let's see if I find a magnet small enough for that. I don't even think it's gonna focus. Nope. I'm gonna see if I can find a magnet. You see, I even lost it. A magnet small enough for that. If I can find a magnet small enough for that, let me know. Let me know what you think. As you can see, I'm exploring with different things. So that was like my little like mini haul from the garment district, in addition to the fabric that I purchased, which I'm gonna be dyeing, which is gonna be fun. I wanted to dye a few things for myself, but also a few things to share, so it's gonna be exciting. One last thing, or 2 last things. Oh my god, my nose is like so bad. 2 last things I wanted to talk about. So on the 29th of July, myself and Stacy C Stitches on Instagram and Flosstube, we are starting a SAL. And it's funny because I said that I wanted to stitch this, and then she said she wanted to stitch it. So guess what? We're selling it. So this one is the Inherited Sampler SAL. It gives you about a week to get the chart and possibly get your materials together. It's pretty much 2 colors, and if you want you can make it into 1 color, but it's pretty much 2 colors and fabric. That's it. I don't think it's a biggie. I don't think it's a lot as far as like a lot of stitching. I mean, it's a lot. Don't listen to me. I mean, it's cute. It's cute. Okay. I think for me, this one is going to be an interesting one because I feel like I'm going to be reflecting a lot. And it's primarily because I saw a video, one of Michelle from Bendy Stitchy had posted, she had did her, one of her floss tubes where she had gotten the amazing gift of having her family tree being traced back. And for me, you know, I don't know, when I saw this at StitchCon, I liked it instantly, and I picked it up. I don't know if it was the color, I don't know if it was something that was like, Yamir, you need to pick this up. So I picked it up, and then, you know, I didn't pay attention to the name, I didn't pay attention to the photos in the background, I didn't pay attention to absolutely anything. I just bought it. But then, you know, I'm like, why is it inheritance? Like, you know, and then I'm looking at the pictures because it has like like a, you know, like records or like a Bible, and it has like people's names, and it has like a photo. So I was just like, what is this? And then, you know, when I start looking deeper, I see that there is 2, 4, 6, 7 initials, like 7 monograms in general. And I'm like, how many people did I know that's 7? So of course, duh, it's my parents and both of my grandparents from both sides, and myself. That's what it would be to me in my view. And for me, it's very interesting because I can't trace back. I can't trace back much. Unfortunately, as of last year, all of my grandparents have passed. So I really, as an adult, can't sit down and talk to them about absolutely anything. So I would have to pretty much go by what I hear, like stories of like history and things like that. You know, it's just very interesting to me that, you know, like now I have to go back and try to like be in tune with like things about like my parents and my grandparents, like the first, last, and middle name. You know, like, you know, your grandparents' first and last name, but like their middle names, and like your great grandparents, and all these different things. And, you know, like some of us can and some of us cannot. Like, unfortunately for myself, I don't think I can go that far. I can probably go back as far as like my great grandmother, probably not my great grandfathers. So it's going to be very interesting for me because I'm going to be really thinking about that, and I'm going to try very hard to get the initials as accurate as I can. So it's going to be interesting. So I'm excited about it, and I think it's going to be a little bit more meaningful for me because my grandparents are not here anymore. So it's going to be interesting for me to be able to kind of like gather that information. And for myself, I am a family person, but you know, like I don't talk to everyone in the family, so it's going to be interesting to like really hear like different, I don't talk to everyone like deeply, you know, so it's going to be very interesting to hear stories and conversations and things like that. So I'm excited to gather names, and yeah, so I think it was meant to be, so I'm excited. So back at it, myself and Stacy C Stitches, we're gonna be doing this. Her birthday's on the 29th, so we're starting on the 29th. If you can't start on the 29th and you still want to join whenever you're ready. However, we're going to be using that hashtag inheritance sampler SAL. So if you are on Flosstube, Instagram, etc., don't hesitate to tag me and tag her as well. I'm excited to see everyone's progress. It's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a mini for me. It's a smaller one. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna do 46 or 56, but we'll see. I'm trying to get the 56s out of my system before I go blind, so why not? And then the last thing before we close off is I'm always sharing my journey along with you all about AlmondMnMs Studio, which is awesome. Everyone has been super supportive, and I mean the responses on every single color, like collection, and all these different things has been amazing. I am gonna bring this up. I'm gonna bring it up August 1st. But I'm taking a leap of faith. August 1st, I'm taking a leap of faith, and I'll speak more about it in August. I'll make sure that I post a video August 1st with all of the details, and I'm taking a leap of faith. Taking a leap of faith, and hopefully you all like it. You won't be able to see it immediately in August. However, you'll hear about it, and you'll get a little bit more of details. So I'm super excited, and you'll kind of know what I've been doing or where I've been at, because I've been doing a lot of planning. So I'm excited about that. I'm jumping in, and I'm super excited about, so we'll see. I think there's a lot of fun things coming down the pipeline along the way, and I'm super excited to share it with you all. I feel like the response has been nothing but positive from everyone, and I'm always more than happy and willing and able to share with everyone my love for color. I do not know what's going on out there with all the honking. I'm happy to share my love for color with everyone, and I'm just happy to see it, in fruition with everyone. Stitching like all these different things and incorporating their colors, whether it's the skin tones, the Mayflowers, and all these different things. So there's a lot of things coming along the way, but August 1st, I'm gonna have a little bit more information, because I just have to tie up some loose ends. I'm gonna have a little bit more information for you all, and hopefully you are excited as I am. So that means I have to come back on August 1st and do another Flosstube. So that's all. I'll see you in about a week. I'll see you in about a week, a little bit over a week. And yeah, I don't know how to end it. But hopefully, if you stayed all the way to the end, I'll see you in a week. Plans. I have a lot of things in the pipeline. I'm also pushing to finish my Zimmerman coverlet, because I want to finish it, and I actually have it here. I want to finish it because I want to tie up some loose ends. I'm in the zone with it. I came out of the hump of here area. I had a big mistake, so I had to do a lot of frogging. So I came out of the hump. So right now I'm just finishing off this little area here, finishing off the other heart, and I have to add my little stars, and then I think it's just easy sailing for me. So I am hoping to finish this by August. I don't know, we'll see. I don't have a lot of time left off from work, so we'll see what happens. I'm hoping to finish it because I want to have it framed, and I want to have it to show. So, and I'm just kind of like in the zone with it. It's traveled with me. It went to StitchCon. It went pretty much everywhere with me. So I'm just excited to kind of like see it finish, and I also want to start working on other things. However, I think the Zimmerman coverlet has pretty much seen my whole journey from me just stitching like a beast and getting 2/3 of it done within like a month and a half, to me starting a business, and and then having to put all my stitching down and fulfill the needs of coloring the world, to now, me being able to kind of like sit down and really enjoy my stitching, and went to StitchCon and went to like meetups and all these different things. So I'm very excited to kind of like see it finish, share it with you all. And I'm very close. It looks like it's a lot, but I'm very close because the hard part is done, which is kind of like the center. It's not hard, it's just very like, you have to focus. So I'm super excited about it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Plans, I'm gonna see how much I get done on the Zimmerman coverlet. I'm going to come up with some colors for a few things. I have to like dye a whole bunch of fabric and just test strips and etc. So I'm gonna be busy. So I'll see you August 1st. And yeah, bye.